In the next Maya Basics animation lesson, I'm going to show you how to set up some basic keyframing and then how to use the time slider to change some of those keyframes around. Okay, what I want to do is go ahead and create the basic animation of each of these pods kind of moving up and down and rotating a little bit side to side, kind of hovering, doing their thing. What I need to do is select one side of this, so I'm going to press up until I get the right engine. And then I'm going to set some keys. So I'm going to move this to frame 0, and I'm going to highlight my translates. Actually, right now, my translate Y. Right-click, choose key selected. Now I'll go up to about frame 50 and move it up. And I'll right-click and choose key selected. And I'll go to 100 and move it down. Right-click and choose key selected. So let's look at our animation here. Okay, pretty basic. All right, I'm also in between here going to add some rotation. So I'm going to rotate this in Z. So I'll set a key here. Actually, I'm going to rotate it first a little bit. And I'm going to put in a key selected and go to the middle there, about 75-ish. And rotate it ever so slightly to the other side. And I'll key that. So we have something that looks like this. And I'll go out to about 125-ish. And I'll rotate it back the other way. And key selected. So here's kind of the, what we have. We've got this thing rotating and moving. Well, let's say that this is all happening way too fast. What we can do is we can press Shift in our time slider, click and drag, and this will turn red. Now, what does this do? Well, these black inside arrows, if you click and drag, you pick up all of those keyframes. So now it doesn't happen until much later. Okay, let me highlight those again. If you click the other arrow, you can move them back. So I can set those right down. If you want to stretch it out, you hit this arrow right here and you click and drag. So now this is stretching it out or scaling them in. So if I did that, now it happens much faster. And I'm not a big fan of that. I want to stretch it out, make it nice and slow. So we'll stretch them out nice and big like this. So you can see we've got some real subtle animation going. Now you could also press the S key. The S key will keyframe all of your attributes over here at once, but I don't like doing that because it adds keys for every single attribute. Well, if there's areas that you don't want keyed, then that doesn't make really much sense. So I'm going to go to 50 and I'm going to move this down a little bit. I'm pretty much doing the opposite of what the other one is doing. So when this one goes down, I'm going to send this one back up. Okay, and then when this one is rotating away, I'm going to rotate this one in. So I'll key selected. And here I'll rotate it back. Key selected. And towards the end there, I'll rotate it back in. And key selected. So let's see what we have here. So it's very subtle. Very, very subtle. But that's what we want. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish keyframing this guy. And here I'm just going to do the same thing, except I want to do all three at once. Here's a trick. If you want to keyframe all three translates at once, so we'll just say here we want it to be down like this. Press Shift W. That automatically keyframes all of those. And reversely, rotate would be the same. Scale would be the same. Okay, I'm going to undo that. Actually, I'm just going to set a key for all the rotates. I'll do the keyframing for the translates in just a little bit when I show you the next step. So Shift E to do the rotate, and I'll come forward a little bit, rotate that, Shift E, and rotate this back the other way, Shift E. So here's what we end up with. All right, cool. That's basic keyframing.